Hello everyone, welcome back to Mystery Crew. I'm Erika here. So let's get on with chapter 2 of the video. So we were going to Rockingdown village and now we are at Rockingdown cottage. That is the name of chapter 2, Rockingdown cottage. So let's start. Rockingdown village was a tiny place with a butcher's shop, a baker's, and a general store, and plenty of farms and cottages around. The church tower showed above the trees, and the church bell could be heard quite clearly in the cottage where the children wait to stay for the holidays. This proved to be a very exciting little place. It's more than a cottage, said Diana, approvingly. It's a jolly nice old house with lots of rooms. It used to belong to a big mansion about half a mile off. This cottage is actually in the grounds of the mansion, said Miss Pepper. It was what is called the Tower's house. What's that? Asked Diana. It was a house set aside for the mistress of the big mansion where her husband died, and her son and his wife came over to take the mansion, said Miss Pepper. She was then called the Dowager Mother, and came to live here in this house with her own servants. It's very old, isn't it? Said Diana, looking at the oak paneling of the dining room in which they were having tea. And I like the wide staircase and the tiny little back staircase too that winds up from the kitchen. We could have vivid games of hide and seek here. I like my bedroom, said Roger. It's got a ceiling that slants almost to the floor, and I have to break strands of ivy across the window, Miss Pepper. It was so overgrown. And I like the way the floor goes up and down, said Diana, and the funny little steps down to this dining room and up to the kitchen. They were just what Miss Pepper didn't like. She was rather short-sighted, and in this old house she seemed to stumble everywhere. Still, no doubt she would get used to it. This tea is vivid, said Roger, approving. Did you make these cones, Miss Pepper? Dear me, no. I'm afraid I'm no cook, said Miss Pepper. Miss Round made them. She's a village woman who comes in each day to do the cleaning and cooking. Is she like a name? Said Diana at once. Miss Pepper considered. Well, yes, she said. She is rather plumpish and her face is ceramically very round. Yes, Miss Round seems a very good name for her. The children explored the house after they had tea, and a very good tea it was, with homemade jam, home-produced honey, scones, and a big fruit cake. This is the kind of fruit cake I like, said Diana, taking her third slice. You don't have to look and see if you got any fruit in your slice. There's plenty all over the cake. You're a pig, Di, said Roger. People are always pigs at your age, said Miss Pepper. Some are worse pigs than the others, of course. Am I a worse pig? Demanded Diana. Sometimes, said Miss Pepper, her eyes twinkling behind their glasses. Roger roared at Diana's indignant face. Miss Pepper, Di can eat a whole tin of nestling's milk all by herself, he began, and got a cake under the table. So could I once, said Miss Pepper surprisingly. The children stared at her. It was quite impossible to imagine the thin, prim Miss Pepper ever having been greedy enough to devour a whole tin of Nestle milk all by herself. Go on now, finish your tea, said Miss Pepper. I want to do your unpacking. They explored but still Miss Pepper unpacked the school trunks, exclaiming over the dirty clothes and looking with horror at the rents and tears and most of Diana's things. Anyone would think that the girl spent all her time climbing thorny trees, judging by the state of her clothes. Miss Pepper thought of having to unpack Snubby's trunk the next day and shuddered. Really, children nowadays were quite impossible. Is the old mansion empty? Asked Roger that evening. We saw from a distance. There was no smoke coming from the chimneys. It looked like a dead place. Yes, I believe it is, said Miss Pepper. Roger, where are all the socks you took back to the school with you? It says you took 8 on this list, but I can only find 1 pair, very holey and dirty. I've got 1 pair on, said Roger helpfully. That makes 2, right? Miss Pepper, can we go and look over the mansion if it's empty? Asked Diana. No, you shouldn't, I think so, said Miss Pepper. Diana, it says on this list that you took 4 blouses back to... Diana fled. It was dreadful the way grown-ups always put you through a cross-examination about clothes as soon as you get back from school. She and Roger rushed upstairs and then tiptoed down the little back stair and out into the garden. Miss Pepper followed them upstairs in a moment or two with another list of questions, but they had mysteriously disappeared. She looked around Diana's room and groaned. How could a girl make a perfectly neat room into such a terrible mess 1 hour after she had taken possession of it? Roger was pleased that night when the two of them went up to bed. It's going to be a wizard place for birds, this, he told Diana. And there are bad girls here, too, in this very grounds. That old fellow we met told me. One of these nights, I'm going to get up and watch for them. Well, don't beg me to come with you, said Diana, and shrieked as Roger aimed upon her for her pun. You sound like Snubby, he said. He always makes silly puns and jokes. For goodness sake, leave it to him. The bedrooms were side by side under the slanting roof. Snubby's bedroom was across the landing, a tiny one looking to the back of the house across the grounds. Miss Pepper slept on the first floor. Tucked away in another corner of the first floor were 2 other rooms. We'll have to meet Snubby tomorrow, said Roger, calling from his bedroom as he undressed. And Looney? Yes, we'll walk over to the station, said Diana, flinging all her clothes on the floor one by one, although she perfectly well knew she would have to get out of bed and pick them up as soon as Miss Pepper arrived to say goodnight. It's only 2 miles. I could do with a good long walk. We can bus back if Snubby's got a lot of things. The next day was a brilliantly fine one. Snubby's train was due in at 12:30. We'll go and meet him, said Roger to Miss Pepper. You needn't come unless you want to, Miss Pepper. I expect there are a lot of things you want to do. They set off at 12 o'clock to walk to the station. Decided that the sharp way would be to go through the grounds of the old mansion. They were horrified to see how overgrown everything was. Even the paths were almost lost in the nettles and brambles that spread all around. Only one broad drive seemed to be well kept, and that was now beginning to show signs of being covered with weeds. Funny, said Diana. You'd think that whoever owned this place would want to keep it up decently so that he could sell it at a good price even if he didn't have any intention of living in it himself. Golly, how are we going to these babbles? I'll scratch my legs to pieces. Here and there, as I walked through the lodge grounds, they caught sight of the old mansion through the gaps in the trees. It certainly looked like a desolate place. Diana didn't like it. Well, I don't much feel as if I want to explore that, she said. It will be full of spiders and creepy things and horror noises and draughts from nowhere. A nasty, spooky place. They were out of the grounds at last and came to the village. They stopped by for an ice cream at the little general store. Ah, you're the new people at the Rockingdown cottage, said the old woman who served them. That's a nice old place. I remember old Lady Rockingdown going there when her son brought his wife from Italy. Those were grand days. Parties and balls and hunts and going on. Now it's all dead and done with. The children ate their ices, listening with interest. Where did the family go then? Asked Roger. Lady Rockingdown's son was killed in war, and his wife died of broken heart, said the old woman, remembering. The place went to a cousin, but he never lived there. He just let it. Then it was taken over in the last war, and some kind of secret work was done there. We never knew what it was. Now that's finished, of course, and the place has been empty ever since. Nobody wants it. It's so big and cumbersome. Ah, but it was a fine place once, and many times I've been up there myself with a party. We must go, said Roger to Diana, else we shall be late for the train. Come on. He paid for the ices and they ran off to the station. They got there just as the train was coming in. They stood on the platform waiting for Snubby and Looney to appear from a carriage. Usually, they both fell out together. An old woman from the market got down. A farmer and his wife appeared, but nobody else. The train gave itself a little shake, preparing to start off again. Roger ran down it, looking into the carriages for Snubby. Had he fallen asleep? There was no one in the carriage except another farmer with a young woman and a baby. The train steamed off importantly, and one of its porters went off into his diner. There was no other train for 2 hours. It took the children a little time to find this out because there didn't seem to be anyone else at the station, and the porter had gone. And no one in the tiny booking office, no one in the station master room, or even in the waiting room. Blow, Snubby! He missed the train, said Diana, just like him. He might have phoned to say so, then we didn't have walked all the way to meet him. They at last found a timetable that told them that the trains there were. It took Roger a good 10 minutes to discover that there were no more trains till the afternoon. He looked at the station clock, which now said 1:15. We have wasted nearly an hour here, he said in disgust. Messing about looking for Snubby and hunting for someone to ask about the trains and trying to find out what the timetable says. Come on, let's go home. We'll catch the bus and perhaps we shan't be awful late. Miss Pepper said she'll make lunch at 1 o'clock. We should be back about 1:30 now. But there was no bus for an hour, so that's work. The sun was hot and they were hungry and thirsty. Blow, Snubby! They back the cottage at 2, and there, sitting at the table, looking very full indeed, was the cousin Snubby. Hello, he said. You're late. Whatever happened? And that's it for chapter 2. That was an interesting one. Let's find out what happens in chapter 3, named Snubby and Looney, in the next video. Thank you, and bye-bye.